guys, and welcome back. Last week we had some pretty humid weather here in the city, and for about a 30-minute period I worked in my shop with the door open. The humidity came in through and it rusted every cast iron tool surface in my shop. Nothing serious, just some surface rust, but enough to really tick you off. So with that in mind, I'm going to show you this week a quick, easy way to get rid of some surface rust using some items that you probably already have either in your shop or in your home. So with that in mind, let's get to it and remove some rust. Now, of all the tools in my shop that rusted, the one that rusted the least was the bed of my lathe. The other ones rusted severely, and of course I got the idea for this video after I already had those cleaned up. So you can see right here that the rust on this project or on this tool is minor. There's not much there, but it's enough to irritate you. And whether it's just a little bit or your tool is completely orange, the principles here are all the same. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off with some penetrating oil such as WD-40 and a piece of, say, 2/0 steel wool. And we're just going to work with that and a clean rag. The first thing you want to do is you want to give the bed of the tool a very generous coating of penetrating oil. Now, it doesn't matter what kind you use. Penetrating oil is penetrating oil as far as I'm concerned. But give it a good coat. The next thing is to take your 2/0 steel wool and start working with the oil and rubbing the bed of the lathe. You want to work with this all the way along to get off all of the surface rust. And like I said, this particular tool, the rust was actually minor. I wish I would have videoed the table saw because that one was the worst of the bunch. But either way, you'll keep working with this, and you can, the video may not show it, but you can see a clearly visible difference already with the rust that is being removed off of this. Having a little bit of surface rust on your tool isn't a panic situation. If you catch it early enough, it's actually quite easy to remove. Every once in a while, just sort of give a wipe and see how we're doing. And already, this particular side of the bed of the lathe, the rust is almost completely removed. So I'm going to give that another coat of oil, and I'm going to give some more workings with the steel wool. Now, normally at this point in time, I would pretty much be done with the rust removal here, and I would just add a good coating of paste wax. With the paste wax, you'd apply it with a soft rag, you let it dry to a haze, and then of course buff it off. And I've always had good results with this. However, I've had a can of this given to me, which is a top coat spray, and we're going to go with this time. I tried it on the table saw and the jointer when they rusted there last week, and I loved it. I thought it was a really good product. I don't know what it's like for longevity, and I'll have to get back to you on that one, but we're going to go with the next step for the top coat. Because we're going to use the top coat, our next step is to completely get rid of any of the oil that may still be present on the bed of the tool. So we're going to use some paint thinner and just with a clean rag, put a little bit of paint thinner on there and just give the bed a good wipe, just to make sure that there's no real oil residue down in any of the crevices or what have you. Just give it a good wipe. I might want to remind you guys that when using stuff like this, penetrating oil, paint thinners, the top coat, you should really be doing it in a well-ventilated area. Have a window and a door open. This stuff is it's pretty nasty. And there we go. The oil is removed. We'll just take another clean rag and give the bed a little wipe just to get rid of any of the paint thinner that may still be on there. The next step is to give a coating of this top coat product, and what you want to do is give a nice even coating over the entire surface of the cast iron. So we'll just give it a little spray. Now what you want to do here is once you get it on there, just give it a few seconds to kind of dry. It's the same concept as using paste wax. You want to give it a little bit of time just to dry and haze up, and then take a clean soft cloth and just buff it out. It doesn't take a lot of buffing, but you can probably see the difference in this area here that I just buffed out, and say this area over here which is hazy, or this area over here which is hazy. So you just want to give it a little bit of a buff. Now the instructions to this stuff say that you may give it a second coat if you wish. Well, guess what? I wish. So give it a shake. Again, nice even coat on the bed. Make sure you get all the little nooks and crannies there. Stuff has an odd smell to it. Don't know what it reminds me of. We've let this one dry a little more than what we did on the first coat, but just like the first coat, just want to buff out the spray. And again, it'll haze up, pretty much like waxing your car. So give this a really good wipe here. Now you can see the difference between these two here. And just that little buff, you can see the difference. So I'm going to carry on and finish getting rid of the top coat off the back of this. And we'll see you after that. And there you have it. Quick and easy. I know that the surface rust on this particular tool was not drastic, but believe you me, this process works whether it's slight rust or a lot of it. So in that quick, short time, we went from this, which again isn't very much, but it's enough to bug me, to this. Showroom quality tool once again. I can't vouch for the top coat for its longevity. I'll have to get back to you guys on that one, but thus far I love it. Even sliding the tailstock onto the lathe, it was like sliding it on ice. So we'll see how that goes. Anyway guys, you got some rust on your tools, get yourself some steel wool, some WD-40 and some paste wax, or if you want to try the top coat, whatever you like, and fix that up and get her looking back to the way they should be looking. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again next week. Just a little tip for you guys. In my shop I get a lot of things that I throw out, whether it be bolts that I've cut off with sharp edges. Here we've got a snapped off box cutter blade, a piece of stainless steel that's got sharp edges on it. Anything that's sharp or metal, I save all of this stuff up and I put it into a plastic peanut butter jar. And when the time comes to throw it out, I seal the jar with duct tape really well and I throw the jar out. Let's not forget that putting this stuff out in bags, the guys that collect the garbage don't need to be sliced up with this stuff either. So let's try to protect them and keep this stuff out of harm's way.